It's frustrating when no one listens to you. Sitting in a brainstorming session, you finally see the real problem and how to solve it. But when you voice it, everyone looks at you like you got three heads. And when you try to explain it, you struggle for the right words because it's just so obvious to you. It feels like banging your head against the wall. But it's not a lack of confidence or assertiveness. You have both. It's something most people don't even realize. And once you understand it, your whole approach will change. My name is Charles, and I'm a highly sensitive person and a leadership coach for people just like me. You get intuitive ideas that arrive fully formed, but they're difficult to explain because even you don't really know how you know. And that's the problem. If you can't explain how you know you're right or why your solution makes sense, then how can anyone else understand? If it was really as obvious as it seems to you, they'd already have thought of it already, right? But it is obvious. Why can't they see it? I've had that experience more times than I can remember, and the worst thing is when someone else brings up the same idea later and they get the credit. What's really happening has nothing to do with being confident or assertive. You know your plan will work and you voiced it, so what is the problem? Here's how I like to think about it. Imagine you're a painter and you've got this vision for a painting. You can see it clearly in your mind's eye and you cannot wait to tell your best friend about it. So you hold up your canvas and you start pointing and say, see, here's a house and here's a tree and there's clouds in the sky. And you can see by the look on their face and their lack of excitement that they just don't get it. Well, of course they don't. What you see in your mind's eye is a finished image with an infinitely more detail than a few sentences can express. That is exactly why no one else gets what you're trying to tell them, because they literally cannot see what you see. They either need you to walk them through it in detail or time to process it on their own, which, unless they're like you and me, might take a while. Your ability to draw connections and recognize patterns is a gift. It's why certain things are so clear to you, yet baffle most people. You literally experience the world in a richer, more nuanced way because your nervous system is designed to be more sensitive. And there's a name for it. Sensory processing sensitivity, also called high sensitivity or HSP. People with this trait share several biological differences from the other 80% of the world. We take in more information and process it more deeply. We have higher levels of empathy, stronger pattern recognition abilities, and a more sensitive nervous system. All of that contributes to a deep understanding that is more often felt and understood than reasoned and thought out. That's why it's so hard to express your ideas to other people. Just how it's easier to show someone a painting than describe it to them. I used to think people just weren't listening to me. Sometimes I still get stuck in that feeling. But the truth is they literally don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. Most people think in linear, concrete ways, like language, music, and math. It has to be delivered in a specific order to make sense. Otherwise, it's just a jumbled noise and nonsense. But for highly sensitive people, a lot of our ideas come to us fully formed or like feelings we recognize, but we can't put into words. Explaining that to someone else requires us to reverse engineer our own intuition, which takes time and effort. If you're HSP, you know exactly what that feels like. The old cliche, a picture is worth 1,000 words, expresses this exact feeling. You could write a dissertation about the image you have in mind, or you could just paint it. It takes a lot of energy to explain our ideas thoroughly enough for most people to grasp them. That's why a lot of times you think it would just be easier to do it yourself. You can't expect them to think like you. It's up to you to translate what you know into language that they can understand. And that doesn't take more confidence or learning to be more assertive. It takes creativity and time to process. Fortunately, HSPs are highly creative. Every HSP I've ever met knows this frustration of trying to explain something to someone who just doesn't get it. The problem is you never learn the basic skill every HSP needs, creating time and space to process and translate your intuitions into concrete, actionable ideas. Here's what I find works best. The first thing is simply not to share your ideas immediately. You don't have to keep it a secret, but if you can't clearly articulate it in the moment, save it until you can. Translating your thoughts into terms your non-HSP colleagues can understand takes time, so give yourself that time. I often make notes or send myself emails to remind me what I was thinking. It helps to let an idea marinate for a while, rereading your notes and pondering them and then letting it go and do something else. The answer or solution will eventually come to you. This is exactly the process a lot of great thinkers use. It's why some of the best ideas come to people in the shower or when they're thinking about other things. You need to let your brain work it out in the background while you focus elsewhere. Trying to will yourself to solve the problem rarely works. Give yourself time. Visiting and revisiting a problem will bring up more questions for you to answer. This process builds your intuition into a full-fledged plan with a logical order of operation and most of the gaps filled. Then you can present it to whoever needs to hear it and a genuine discussion can begin. Sometimes people want to hear what you think right then and there. They can see your gears turning and some people can be insistent. That's when I tell people, I have an idea, but I need to flesh it out or something like that. This gives you the time and space to do your processing and avoids the frustration of trying and failing to express your intuitive ideas before they're ready. Think of it like that painting. You don't necessarily have to come back with a finished masterpiece, but you can make detailed sketches for them to consider. The key is to give yourself the time to translate the feeling into a precise idea that you can articulate, backed up with reasoning and logic someone else can understand. Now, the best way to learn something is to do it. So, pick something you haven't voiced because you already know no one else will understand it. And if you're HSP, I know you have lots of random ideas floating around in your head right now. Pick one of those. Then spend some time fleshing it out. Start with a brainstorming session. Then turn that into a written treatment. Use whatever process works for you. Go back over it a couple times, refining it. Even if it's only a single paragraph, read it aloud and edit it until you're happy with it. Then take it to whoever needs to hear it and see what happens. You'll know when they begin to get it. You'll see it instantly. Suddenly, you'll be the expert in their eyes. And if they don't get it, go back and refine it more. Sometimes this process takes practice. Now, there are lots of other reasons why highly sensitive people struggle in their careers. Sometimes the reason you feel ignored or overlooked is completely separate from your ability to express your ideas. So I created a quiz called What's Your HSP Leadership Visibility Block? It pinpoints exactly which problem is keeping you stuck. So there's a link in the description below. And if you want to learn more about what it means to be highly sensitive and the science behind it, I made a video for exactly that reason. So my name is Charles. I'm a leadership coach at Revelcraft Life Coaching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.